Hey everybody, welcome back to Whiteboard Finance. My name is Marco and I'm here to help you master your money and preserve your wealth from rampant inflation. Yes, folks, we are sitting at 7.5% according to CPI, which is the Consumer Price Index released by the BLS, Bureau of Labor Statistics. We're going to break down every single category in that CPI measurement. I'm going to show you why it's still incredibly understated because they're not accounting for a core component within that figure. Because they're trying to make it look like inflation is less than it really is. We're going to talk about some other key factors, and we're going to talk about inflation globally. I highly suggest that you stay until the end of this video, as always. So let's get right into it. So we're sitting on the BLS.gov website, and you can see the 12-month % change in the CPI index for all urban consumers, selected items not seasonally adjusted. So the light blue bars, which you see here, are for December 2020 to December 2021. So inflation hits different people differently. So I want to make this point before I get right into the numbers. So if you're someone living in your mom's basement, all right, your inflation is not going to be as severe as a father of a family of 4, for example, who has 2 kids who need braces, health care. The wife may be a stay-at-home mother or a homemaker. Inflation hits different people differently. So just keep that in mind when you watch this video. So first and foremost, gasoline is up almost 50% over the year, okay, which is absolutely insane. So keep in mind what we're comparing here. So think of those regular middle-class expenses. So people obviously need to get to work, right? I mean, some people are obviously working from home, but if in normal times people need to use their car to commute, most people drive gasoline-powered cars. So there you go. There's 49.6% right there of your purchasing power being inflated away. Used cars and trucks. If you're in the market, try not to be, because right now used cars and trucks are up 37.3%. Sorry, my big fat head is in the way there. Energy, 29.3%. If you're looking at oil, which I mentioned in my How to Profit from Massive Inflation video, always spitting fire. Told you oil is the way to go. Same thing with natural gas. Utility gas service, 24.1%. We're obviously going into winter now with these numbers being from December. People need to heat their homes. If you look at what's going on in Europe right now, it's absolutely crazy what the price of natural gas is doing. And they all get their gas mostly from one country, which I'm not going to bring up in this video. Meats, poultry, fish, and eggs, 12.5%. New vehicles, 12%. Tobacco and smoking products, 9%. You got to get the cigs, man. You got to get the cigs when times are tough. And the tobacco companies know this. Household furnishing, 7.4%. The average of all items is 7%. But when you look at stuff like food at home, obviously a middle-class staple. Food in general, 6.3%. Electricity, 6.3%. Food away from home went up 6%, which I actually think I'm going to call BS on this one. If you've gone to any restaurant over the past year, food is not up 6%. It's up significantly higher than that. So I'm going to call BS on that one. But for the most part, you look at all this stuff, it seems to be in line or slightly above than what it usually is, like groceries, things like that. However, what people need to keep in mind is this year, CPI average is 7.5% year over year. If you got anything less than a 7.6% raise, you are break even or losing money or losing purchasing power to inflation, which I've been talking about for years. It goes back to savers or losers, right? If you have your money sitting in a savings account earning anything less than 7.5%, LOL. Yeah, I just said LOL out loud. That's how ridiculous that statement is. You are losing purchasing power to inflation. So just keep that in mind next time you get a 3% raise. So this is the core component that I wanted to talk about. Shout out to Charlie Bilello. He has a lot of good statistics on his blog and also on Twitter. So this is the component that everyone knows. The middle class feels it. I've tweeted about this in the past, which I'll show you here in a second. But shelter is the single biggest component of CPI, which makes up 33% of the index. So these numbers that I just showed you, housing makes up 33% of that and is still being wildly understated at 4.4% year over year. So rents, you can see here, based on apartment list rent estimates, are up 18% over the last year, and home prices are up 19%. Actual inflation rate is much higher than 7.5, which I've been saying for years. But you can't question CPI because it comes from the government, right? It has to be accurate. They have our best interest in hand. So if you look at this purple line, you can see that the rents from 2021 to 2022 are up 17.8%. If you look at what normal rents go up by, it's anywhere from 0 to 5% in any other given year, which brings me to my own tweet, which was maybe, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. I said, at what point can median income earners, aka the middle class, no longer bear rent increases? So if I click on this picture, you can see the average rent by year. This was posted October 26, 2021. You can see that rent prices have increased an average of 8.86% per year since 1980, consistently outpacing wage inflation by a significant margin. So if you look at the nationwide average monthly rent, it's right around $1,100, $1,200. Median rent is $1,100. 78% of renters pay rent in full and on time. 28% don't. At what point does the middle class get priced out from renting? What if you had, bad medical history and had to file bankruptcy, your credit is shot, and you can't buy a home, you can't get approved because your credit score is terrible from stuff that's outside of your control? Well, you're inevitably going to have to rent, right? Well, how can your pay keep up with something that's being outpaced in the form of rent, right? So let's talk on a global scale here. So again, Charlie Bolello, shout out to him if you don't follow him. Let's talk about global inflation rates. So you can see here, this is CPI inflation year over year. And obviously, I'm pretty sure these sources come from the actual nation states or governments themselves. You can see Japan, less than 1%, Saudi Arabia, 1.2%. It goes up, 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 and up. And when you start getting into kind of like the danger zone of 5%, you can see that's around Canada, Germany, United Kingdom, Ireland, India, et cetera, et cetera. USA is over here at 7.5%. Poland is at 8.6%. Russia is at 8.7%, who just announced that they're looking at Bitcoin and crypto as legal currency. This just happened last night. Brazil is at 10.4%. Turkey, everyone knows that they've been getting crushed this year. I think they're starting to peg their money to the dollar last time I checked, but they're sitting at almost 50%. Argentina, 50%. Venezuela, as always, the usual suspects, sitting at 472%. So what is the point of all this? I've been preaching this for about 2 or 3 years now on this channel. You have to invest in things that keep up with inflation, or at least hedge against inflation. That would be the form of a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage, low-rate fixed-rate mortgage. That would be rental properties, cash-flowing real estate, things that appreciate in value over time, niche products such as collectible watches, collectible cars, things that will always be desirable in the future. They will at least keep up with inflation because there's always a market there for them. Commodities, precious metals, things like that. So this is not to rehash all the stuff I've talked about in the past, but it is to shed light on something that is a growing problem. Do you guys think that inflation is transitory because of cerveza sickness, or do you believe it is here to stay? So there's a couple different schools of thought there, but give me your opinion down below. Share the video with one friend. Share the video with a group of people. If you're in an economics group or macroeconomics group, which I'm sure most of you are, right? You're not sitting on your couch watching Netflix and hand egg and egg ball and football and all that stuff. You're really studying the macro, right? No, all joking aside, people have lives. They don't really look into this stuff. But if you start to follow it, you'll understand that some of this stuff has to change with fiat currency, and that's why crypto is becoming more and more popular over time. So we'll see what happens. This is being recorded on February 10th. We're going to see what the Fed is going to do the rest of this year, if they're going to raise interest rates, if they're going to they have to, but they can't because they don't want to upset the bond market. They're trying to date 2 women at the same time. And I know I'm rambling and that may not make sense to you, but they're trying to appease the stock market and the bond market at the same time, aka trying to date 2 women at the same time, which is not possible unless you're smooth, buttery smooth. And even then, with cell phones and stuff, I don't know. I don't even know if I could pull it off. Just kidding. I love my wife. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Have a prosperous day. Peace. All right, let me check on my side chicks here. Hold on. Dude, I haven't dated in so long because I've been with my wife for probably 7 years now. I don't even know how to talk to girls anymore. Do people even talk to girls anymore? Is it all just through like metaverse? Like, hello, I like you. Let's dance. What? Dance? Physical contact? Must put on the VR headset. Metaverse. Meh, this is a great future. I will own nothing and be happy.